Morning here. It's going to be warm, I think. I've come out for a big walk with Jeff quite early. It's only about 8:30. I thought it's the best time before either of us get too hot. I'm sorry I didn't record yesterday. Yeah, I had intended to. A couple of reasons. Firstly, I'm due new glasses. I've had my eyes tested and I'm due a new prescription, and they've not come. And the weather wasn't so good yesterday, so the light obviously wasn't so good. So I struggled to sew. And the other reason, we went out for a walk. Nick came with me. Yeah, he's not been doing too well recently with his mental health. And aside from going to work, he doesn't really leave the house. But he's having CBT therapy, and he does know that, you know, it's all about exposure, isn't it? So bless him, he came for a walk and he really enjoyed the first part, and because he felt good, we said, oh, we'll continue, do a bit more, and that was just a bit too much. So we had to dash back to the car and get home, and that was okay. But yeah, for the rest of the day then I just wanted to be with Nick, and yeah, we just chilled out and watched TV and stuff, so apologies for that. So I'm going to make the placemat today, so I'm watching Jeff because he's just wandering around. Yeah, I'm going to make it this morning, and then this afternoon I can sit in the garden and do the hand binding, I think. I was going to cook a roast dinner because it's Sunday, but yeah, I'm not going to. We're going to make a pizza and do it in the pizza oven in the garden with some salad, and yeah, it'd be nice. Thank you for your encouraging comments on my slimming world and, you know, bid for a healthier lifestyle. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's the right thing for me to do at this point in my life. I'm absolutely fine. I've got no health issues at all. I'm not pre-diabetic. I've got no blood pressure, you know, no health issues at all. I want to keep it that way. That's the goal, isn't it? And I think coronavirus really scared me in terms of being overweight, so yeah, it's time. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. first, put more washing out, vacuum drowned, you know, all the things. I'm just going to make a start on my table mats. Now, if you remember, I bought this fabric. It's a Sophie Allport fabric, and I bought it back in January in the sale, and it's her Partridge in a Pear Tree range. I had a look this morning. The Sophie Allport website has still got some seasonal fabrics. I don't know about this one, but they've got the Ski Lodge, and they've got another Christmassy one, seasonal one. But yeah, and they're £26 a metre on her website. I got this from a website called justfabrics.co.uk, and they have got this one in stock as well as all her other seasonal fabrics and mainline fabrics, and they're £21 a metre. They've even got the new fabrics that Sophie's just launched this week at £21. That's quite a big saving, really. So, on mats, I've watched a few tutorials, and some of them I'm also going to use some batting in mine. I've got some of this batting left from when I made Dad's quilt, so I am going to put some in. Now, I've got these table mats. I've had them for years and years and years, and they've washed and washed and washed, and I'm starting to fray a bit at the edges now. See, these were from Next. I mean, you can see how many times they've been washed because you can barely see the, you know, the label. But they've been brilliant. But these aren't, these don't have batting in. That you can just see they're just two pieces of fabric sewn together inside out, and then it's got some of this decorative edging on. And and I do like this size, so I'm going to use this as a sort of guide. And it just so happens that it's the size of one of my cutting mats. So I'm just going to use this as my ruler, really. And this is 42 centimetres wide by 27 centimetres high. And it's all but the right size. So it's for seam allowances and all the rest of it. That'd be about right, won't it? So that's how I'm going to gauge my size and everything. So I've watched a couple of tutorials, and one was like literally like doing a quilt. So you'd have a backing, your batting and your top fabric, and then you'd quilt the top in however you chose. And then you could do a binding, a hand binding. And then another way I saw was a bottom fabric, batting, and then your top fabric went pattern side down. You sewed around the edge, left a little opening to get your hand in, turned it inside out, and then stitched the opening closed. So it's like an envelope. And that is super easy. And then for quilting, all they did was 1/2 inch round, all the way round, and then they went in, I think 1.5 inches, sewed all the way round. So they just had these two little lines. And that looked really effective. And actually this has got no quilting on at all. It's fine, you know, it's perfect. But I think if you're going to put batting in, then that needs to be secured somehow with some quilting. And actually the quilting process is the part I enjoy as well. So I think I am going to do batting. The other thought I had was, obviously I'm doing mine for Christmas. Well, for these ones for Christmas, I'll say I'm going to do some others. But I have got quite a nice range of Sophie Allport fabrics. They're not there, but I'll show you those. We've got her stripe. And her spots. We've got her bakeware. Oh, this is a Katie green bean, not a Sophie Allport. It's lovely for the ship. Crabs and the woodland creatures. This one I always think of Easter. I mean, it's not, but it just makes me think of Easter. What we could do is have the front in Christmas and then the back in woodland animals, so that you've almost got 2 seasons from your mats. Because obviously, you know, Christmas, they're only going to come out at a certain time, aren't they? Or to do a neutral on the back, and then you could use both sides, you know, it would be reversible, wouldn't it? So I did think about doing that. These are the 2 fabrics I've got. I did think about doing. I think they're fun, but I wouldn't use them like every day. But you know, for Easter, your Easter table, so these would be really fun. So you could have that on one side and Christmas on the other. So then you get a holiday, an Easter holiday mat and a Christmas holiday mat. That would be quite effective way of using them. But because I've got so much of the Christmas fabric, I'm just going to do both sides in Christmas. So I'm going to cut out, I'm going to iron this. It has been ironed before, but yeah, I'm going to cut out 2 pieces and some batting. I'll try and position the camera to show you what I'm doing. I say try. I used the little green cutting mat just as a rough guide, really. These might be slightly bigger, slightly smaller, that's fine, isn't it? Rough, you know, they're just a good size. Now here, look, rookie mistake. I haven't paid attention to the position of the fabric. So that's going to be the table mat as you look at it, and the trees are going the wrong way. They should be going that way, shouldn't they? So that again, something to note, isn't it? Fabric placement. Okay, not to worry. I'll pop that to one side. I won't waste that fabric. I'll use it for my crackers. But, you know, note to the wise. Right, so I've cut all my pieces out now and my batting. And yeah, just to show that I am still very much a rookie, I cut this one out the wrong way. See the trees going the wrong way? Would anybody notice? Probably not in my family, but you know, I do. If this won't go to waste, I shall either use this one for Jeff's mat. I'm making 6 for my table and 1 for Jeff. So yeah, I could use this for Jeff because I've cut 2 out. And you might remember I'm going to be making some fabric crackers, Christmas crackers. So I could use the other one for that. The other bit of fabric, that's fine. It won't go to waste. In fact, this one looks like it's, can you see that blue there? It's probably why it's a bit cheaper. It's probably got a slight seconds. But again, you know, nobody in my family will notice, and Jeff certainly won't care. So we'll just pop them to one side. So I've cut out 4. 1 for the front, 1 for the back. I guess the good thing as well about using the same fabric front and back is that when I spill my gravy, I can just flip it over for the next day. Perfect. Nobody needs snow, do they? So I'm going to do a sandwich between my 2 pieces of fabric and this batting. Now this batting is what Gaynor, Tales from Cuckoo Land, recommended I get for my quilt. And it's a cotton bamboo blend. It's obviously machine washable. And it's quite good in terms of, there's quite a big, I don't know what I'm talking about. When you're quilting, the batting will tell you how far apart you can have in your quilting stitches. Does that make sense? So if you're doing a zigzag, a diamond, the spacing between those rows of stitches and this one can be quite far apart. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it tells you in the instructions. And I bought that from a company in the UK called Elephant in My Handbag. It's very reasonable, very inexpensive. I'll see if I can tilt you down a bit, but I'll show you what I'm doing. The other thing I found with this, I don't know if it's the same with all battings because I've only ever used this one, but it's really sticky. No, not sticky to your fingers, but when you put fabric on it, it wants to hold it. See, there's no glue on there, there's no adhesive, but it just wants to hold it. It just bonds to it, I think. Maybe that's the right word, bonds. So I've put that on there. You'll notice I haven't ironed this fabric. The reason being, Jeff just hates the ironing board. He goes absolutely bonkers. And he's just asleep here at my feet, so I don't want to set him off. Which I know is not the best way, but I'll iron it along the way when it's washed. It's okay. Right, let's make sure I get this the right way up now. There. So I've just made a sandwich. Can you see there? Got my bottom fabric, batting, top fabric. I say it just wants to bond to it, that batting. Quite lovely. I've got these little wonder clip things, I think they're called. Megan bought them. She enjoys making project bags, as some of you may know. So I'm just going to use them to clip it together. Actually, I've just had another thought. If you haven't got any of these though, you can use pins. And if you don't have any pins, you could just put some basting stitches there. Done that to hold it together. But I've just thought I'm going to draw on here now with a friction pen some lines that I can then quilt over. So maybe I ought to do that before I sandwich it, because it'll give me a firmer base, won't it? Yeah, I will. Hang on. So I hope you can tell this is not by any means a tutorial. This is literally just me sitting at my kitchen table with my friends on a Sunday afternoon, completely winging it, because I've never done this before. Right, I've stripped my sandwich back. I've just got my top piece of fabric, because what I'm going to do is draw some lines on there with a fabric pen or a chalk pen to show me some lines to do my quilting on. Right, I've done my grids, and you see I've scribbled some out as well because I wasn't very straight. But I think that's way too busy, way too busy. I certainly don't need all those little squares, so I'm going to quilt every other line. I shall ignore that one, every other, so that my finished diamonds will be a block of 4 rather than individual blocks. I think it's just too busy. But you know, we're always just a learning curve, isn't it? We're all just winging it. So that is that. So I'm going to just sandwich them together again now with my clips or pins, whatever you've got. So I'm going to machine quilt these. I've really enjoyed the hand quilting process on my dad's quilt, and I would happily and will do that again. But for these little projects, it's only like a weekend project, isn't it? And once you've figured out your lines and your pattern, it will be so much quicker than I'm faffing around here. Yeah, I just think just a thingy 4 would be nice rather than all those different. You see, it's really squishy. And then I'm going to, when I've quilted that, I'm going to do the binding in the same fabric. I've really loved that on my dad's quilt. Really loved it, and the finish it gives it is just beautiful. So I'm just going to clip a bit on just roughly here to show you. Again, this is just one of an offcut of fabric here, so it might not be the right direction or anything else like that, but I just want to show you the effect you get. See, it just finishes it off nice. I mean, obviously it's turned in, it's not rough around the edges like that, it looks neat. But it really does finish it off lovely. I really enjoyed that process on my dad's. And I'm certainly not going to try and pattern match my binding to my placemat or anything like that. Could use a contrast colour. Yeah, I don't know if using the same fabric's the right idea or not. Maybe it would clash if the pattern was jarring. Maybe this is a time to use a contrast colour. Maybe the spots, the grey spots I've got that pick up the red spots in the fabric. Might be an idea. Anyway, we'll see. I'm just going to machine stitch that now, and then I'll come back and show you.